Imagine pouring your heart and soul into a home for nearly 40 years. Every wall painted with your love, your creativity, your memories. Then one day, someone with power decides they want it, and just like that, you're thrown out. That's exactly what happened to my neighbor. But here's the twist. When the greedy landlord's daughter finally got the house she fought for, what she walked into wasn't a fairy tale dream. It was a soulless nightmare. If you've ever dreamed of seeing selfish people get exactly what they deserve, hit that like button and subscribe, because today's story is one of the most satisfying examples of karma I've ever witnessed. My neighbor Rebecca was one of those rare souls you don't forget. An artist to her core. Everything she touched became beauty. From the outside, her house looked like a cozy little cottage, nothing flashy. But step inside, and it was magic. Entire walls transformed into hand-painted murals. Classic Disney characters frozen mid-song. Fairy tale landscapes that seemed to move if you stared too long. Rebecca wasn't some eccentric recluse either. She'd been an art teacher for years, then ran a small paint and wine business before retiring. Even when she was correcting me for revving my loud truck too late at night, she did it with patience. She had this warmth. Everyone in the neighborhood respected her. But more than that, the house was hers. Or it was supposed to be. She'd lived there since the mid-80s, with a verbal promise from the original landlord. When the time came, she'd get the house. And for decades, that was the plan. But life isn't a fairy tale. The landlord passed away before making the agreement official. His children inherited the property, and that's where everything went wrong. One of the sons came by with his daughter to check on the place. And the daughter, she fell in love. Not with Rebecca, not with her as a person, but with the murals. With the art. Now, instead of honoring a 40-year neighbor, they saw Rebecca's home as a gift-wrapped treasure for the landlord's daughter. There was just one problem. Rebecca didn't have a formal lease. The family pounced on that technicality. They claimed the murals were damaged, that the house needed to be restored, and used it as their excuse to evict her. When I tell you she was devastated, mean it. I saw it in her eyes. The light she always carried dimmed. Imagine being told that your life's canvas, your sanctuary, wasn't yours anymore because someone else suddenly wanted it. She packed up her life. We helped move her furniture into storage. A friend of mine even let her stay at his guest house for free, as long as she painted him a mural in his living room. That felt right. Rebecca's art deserved a home. But here's where the revenge began, though none of us called it that at first. Rebecca could have left the house as it was, murals and all. But she didn't. She agreed to let us restore it. And my friend, who'd been itching to test out his new paint sprayer, went all in. First, we sanded everything down. Those enchanting murals. Blotches of color fading under buzzing sanders. Then came the paint sprayer. Layers of white primer blasting over decades of work. It was almost painful to watch, but Rebecca didn't flinch. It was depressing. The antagonist's downfall. A week later, I went to check on another neighbor's place and glanced at the house. Me. Still and lifeless. I asked around. Apparently, the landlord's daughter had shown up with a couple of U-Haul trucks earlier in the week. But here's the kicker. Not a single box was unloaded. They drove away, and never came back. I couldn't help but laugh. She thought she was inheriting a fairy tale castle, full of murals and magic. Instead, she walked into a corpse of a house. White walls, gray cabinets, gravel yard. A house stripped of its soul. And Rebecca, she'd already moved to a new state, into a place perfect for her. A home with an art studio built right in. She lost a house, but gained a sanctuary. Meanwhile, the greedy daughter was left with an empty shell of what she thought she wanted. A blank canvas. But without Rebecca's spirit, it was nothing but walls and paint. And that was the sweetest part. Rebecca didn't need to scream or fight or burn bridges. She let karma do the work. The very thing they wanted, the art, the magic, the beauty, was the one thing they could never steal. Because it wasn't in the walls. It was in Rebecca. And when the daughter realized that, I hope she felt every ounce of regret. This story isn't just about revenge, it's about soul. You can steal a house, you can take the walls, but you can't own someone's spirit. And when you act out of greed, you'll end up with nothing but an empty, lifeless box. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments. Have you ever seen karma hit someone this perfectly? And of course, subscribe for more stories where justice is served sweeter than ever.